Hello beautiful souls, welcome back to my channel. I'm Elle and I am doing something new. I have been wanting to start creating more like lifestyle, like day in life videos. I personally love watching vlogs and whatnot, and honestly I don't know if anybody's gonna find this to be interesting at all, but yeah, here I am giving it a try, just kind of changing it up a little bit. I'm still going to be doing my pick a card readings, but I thought it would be kind of cool to just show you what it's like just living this crazy life. I definitely look like a hot mess right now, and honestly normally I wouldn't want to show up on camera looking like this, but I really am just wanting this to be more like real, raw, in the days of me, and just showing up with no shame or guilt, being who I am, looking the way I am sometimes. I do want to kind of show you a little bit with my night routine in this video, and a lot of other things. You'll see my dog Titan. He's always crazy roaming around and interacting with me throughout the day, so yeah, he's very hyper. And yeah, I don't know, it's just gonna be really random and just a bunch of different things. So hopefully you enjoy this. If you do, give this a thumbs up if you want to see more videos like this. Again, like I said, I'm gonna continue doing the pick a card readings, but I also just wanted to get into just daily vlogs, chill videos where I just sit, talk, come on camera, and you're actually seeing my face, the face behind the voice and behind the readings. So I thought that would be pretty fun, right? There he is. But the battery's gonna die per usual, so I will see you in the next clip. Alright, so now I am just going to do my unwinding routine, I guess you can say, because yeah, it's time to wash this hair. I got it done a couple days ago actually, but I tend to like to go to my hairdresser, my hair salon, my hairstylist or whatever, like once a week to get it washed and blow dried, because I actually really struggle with my hair. It's been this way for a really long time actually, and I've tried so many different things to fix the problem, but it just doesn't seem to want to like fix. So I think that it has to do with like possibly my hormones being off balance. And some of you may know, but I have been struggling to conceive now. It's been over a year, about 16 cycles of trying to conceive a child with no luck, which is fine. I'm just trusting in the timing. Of course it's really hard, but I think part of that has to do with my hormones being off balance, and it took us a really long time to be able to get an appointment with a specialist. So we finally have that coming up in June, so I'm really excited for that because I hope that it will bring us some answers. And yeah, so I feel like with my hair in the way that it's like this film on my hair that even after I personally wash it, I can still feel it, and it just, nothing works. Clarifying shampoos, I changed my shower to like, because I thought maybe it was like hard water or something with the water, but I even put like a filter on the shower to help with the water, and still I'm struggling with this. So I'm hoping that maybe I'll get some answers, and you know, I definitely could be better with my diet for sure. So maybe I just need to get more committed to, you know, what I eat for sure. One of the biggest struggles is that I hate cooking. I don't know if anybody can relate, but like cooking is the freaking worst and I just hate it. So I really would rather not cook, but it's all about adding things that I enjoy to do while doing the things that I don't like to do. And I think if I just try to do that more and change my mindset a little bit with that, then maybe I can get on a routine of cooking more and like being healthier in that regards to what I'm putting in my body and what I'm eating. So yeah, anyways, I'm going to be doing the taking a shower now, and quickly I just wanted to kind of show you like it nice butt. Yeah, I put this on my wedding registry back in the day when I first tried that, but it's too funny. Yeah, so essentially what I like to do is light some incense because I find it so relaxing and peaceful to just have incense going, and it smells so good. So that's what I'm doing there. And then after I get out, some of the skincare I like to use is this Youth to the People called Mandelic Acid and Superfood. It's like an exfoliant with the 3% AHA and 2% BHA and 1% PHA, whatever that means. I'm really not skilled at what that means. And then this is the Fresh Rose Deep Hydrating face cream that I like to use. Sometimes I'd put this on my hair, but most of the time I'm not using this that much anymore because, like I said, my hair just struggles, so I don't even try. But that's a little bit what I use. Sometimes I'll put this lavender lotion on because I think it smells really good and it makes my skin feel nice. So yeah, and this is just my little setup. You know what's funny is I still have my little white Christmas tree. You know why? It's because I love a good lighting ambiance, and that's just what it does. So, and funny story about this is that when I first started my spiritual journey, my husband and I, we went to the beach and we collected so many rocks and so many shells, and I also saw this huge feather from a bird in the ocean, and I took that like as a sign from either like my grandpa or just the universe telling me, you know, keep going, you're on the right path. So these are really special and meaningful to me, and I just really love these cute little rocks. So that's why I have that there. But yeah, so that's kind of what I do. And then I'll put on like a podcast episode or a YouTube video. For me right now, I'm actually going to put on a YouTube pick a card reading because I personally love doing pick a card readings for other people. But when it comes to doing my own tarot, sometimes I struggle a little bit because, you know, my mind just wants to make it say one thing even if it means something else. So any tarot readers may resonate with that, but I just prefer to also watch pick a card readings myself. They've always been so on point, and I have so many awesome pick a card readers that I like to watch. I'll tag some of them below, like I'll leave their links to their channel below in the description box. But yeah, so I'm gonna go do that, take my shower, unwind a little bit, relax, and I'll see you after. Okay, so this is like off balance and crooked, but we're just gonna work with it. And my hair's wet because I just washed it, like I said. But yeah, so this is kind of like my little setup. I have never filmed this way before, so we're trying it out. New things. Honestly, when I think about June and what I want for June, I really am trying to step out of my comfort zone, which I definitely have been doing so thus far, but I want to do it even more. Like, for example, with my podcast and recording my pick a card readings, it's something that I normally wouldn't have pictured myself doing way back when I first started my journey of just like being online and having an online presence and connecting with people online. And showing up on camera with no makeup on is definitely something I never pictured myself doing. Yeah, because actually when I first started my journey, back when I created EllDuclos.blog and my Instagram, it's really funny because originally when I started it, one of my main focuses was makeup and beauty and things like that. Yeah, I look at where I am now and it's like makeup and beauty and all of that is great and fun, but I have no desire to do my makeup every day. I have no desire to play around with makeup like I used to. So it's really quite interesting to see how much my values and what I find enjoyable, how much it has changed, I guess you could say, because it has changed a lot. And yeah, so I don't know where I was going with that, but I actually started my Instagram and like the whole blog and stuff like that 5 years ago. which is crazy to me because I think that's such an awesome milestone for me, is just 5 years. 5 has always actually been my lucky number, my favorite number, and 5 also represents change in numerology. So maybe that's why my life has always been in this constant state of change, because it really has been. And I just look back on everything that, you know, I've been through in those last 5 years and where I am now and where I am today. And I just feel really grateful for, you know, the way things have turned out, because 5 years ago I was definitely at a tough spot in my life, working at a job that I truly, like, really hated. I hate to use the word hate, but like I really did hate it, and it made me miserable, and even to the point where I was just not taking care of myself and so much. So being able to do this and do what I enjoy, and actually, you know, because I never really openly talked about this, but tarot is not like my full-time job. Making YouTube videos is clearly not my full-time job. I'm still a really small channel, and I am so grateful for everyone who does tune in and who enjoys my pick a card readings and who does support. And maybe there's some of you listening who have supported me since I started my Instagram, my Boss Girl Bloggers community on Facebook, and, you know, my blog and all of that, and have always supported everything that I do. And that means the absolute world to me, because I could not be where I am today if it wasn't for people who supported my journey, and that means so much to me. And I just hope that, you know, I can continue to put out content and show up in a way that really connects and engages with you guys, because overall that's the most important thing to me, is just that connection and that community. And I think back about like why, you know, I find connection and community so important, and I think a lot of it has to do with just feeling so disconnected in childhood. Maybe some of you can relate to that, like just feeling like you were the odd one out, feeling like, you know, I don't know, I just feel like the connections that I had throughout my life, I always felt distant at the same time. So community has always been, oh, that's my dog Titan. I told you he's gonna show up everywhere because he just, he just loves to be in the spotlight, huh Titan? So yeah, that's kind of just where I'm at right now, and why I felt a need to just show up and say that. Yeah, I kind of, like I said before, I've always loved YouTube. Like even back in school, I used to watch YouTube videos constantly, like kind of to an unhealthy amount. I loved watching vlogs. I love just watching everything. Honestly, I just find it so fun and intriguing, and I always had this dream of having my own YouTube channel and connecting with people online and finding a community of like-minded individuals. So that's always been my focus and my aim, which actually reminds me that I am wanting to start a spiritual growth and healing book club. Obviously it would be free. The only thing you would have to buy is the book that we would be reading each time. And I would love to do that, like in a virtual sense, where we would show up on Zoom like once a week or once every other week, I don't know how often, and discuss the book and the chapters that we've read and all of that. And I think that would be a really great way to additionally build community and connect with people and connect with you guys. So if any of you are interested in that, send me an email. I'll leave my email below, thoughtsthatmanifest@gmail.com, because I would love to figure out dates and times that work best overall for everyone so that we can do that, because I think that would be really fun. And yeah, so I'm just kind of in June focusing on doing more of what makes me feel good, creating a life that makes me feel good, creating community, pushing myself to be vulnerable and to show up on camera even when I may, you know, feel like I don't look my greatest, and kind of get out of that mindset of like, honestly, who cares if you have no makeup on? Who cares if your hair is a mess? Who cares? Like, you know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, I think that we don't see enough of that on social media, where like people are showing them those like parts of their life. They're more so showing up as like, you know, how we would think they look so perfect and put together. And the truth is, social media half the time is just not the full picture. It's not the full truth, and people choose to show you parts of their life that they want to show you. And even me, like, I'm still not showing all of the parts of my life. I still have my struggles. I still have my days where I don't want to get off the couch and my mood is just real shitty. Like, we all have our struggles, right? So anyway, that's on that. I kind of wanted to just pull a few cards while I'm on camera here, you know, to see what the universe wants to tell me, but also I figured if I pull these cards on camera and you're coming across this, then maybe you need to hear these messages too. So I'll give it a try here to see what we have. Spirit, what messages do you have for us today? What messages do we need to hear? Synchronicity. So honestly, this is interesting for me because I have been seeing a lot of synchronicities and signs, and I really feel that when you do see synchronicities and signs, it's really the way that the universe kind of tells you that you're on the right track and to keep going and to, you know, don't give up, essentially, because it's so easy to feel so defeated when things aren't going the way we want them to or the way that our ego wants them to, and we start to get defeated, and then the universe shows us this little synchronicity that's like, no, don't worry, like, you're on the right path, keep going. Healing. Yeah, I feel like collectively all of us, we're on this healing journey right now as we're trying to heal as a collective, especially with the way that the world is. There's been so much like heartbreak and sadness, and I think about, you know, the recent shooting that just happened here in the States in Texas, and that honestly, like, hearing about that, seeing that completely broke my heart. It is so sad to think about, you know, the way that innocent children's lives were lost due to so much anger and hatred, and just like the government, or I don't want to talk politics because I really don't like talking politics, but just like I feel like the people of power, the people, the leaders could do such a better job, and I feel like they need to do a better job at making sure situations like this aren't happening, and that we are protecting our children, especially because, dang, if anything, protect our damn children. And in the States especially, I feel like the children in general are just not protected enough, and it really breaks my heart, and my heart goes out to all of those who were affected by that horrible shooting that happened in that tragedy, and it just really breaks my heart. So it's heavy energy for sure. Just the world in general, it's just heavy energy, and I just feel like there's so much healing that's being taken place right now. So also we have good luck and trust. So something, you know, again, even when I think about my own life, like trusting in the process, trusting that what's meant to be is going to happen, trusting in divine timing. That has been my number one, I think, issues in life, is patience and trusting in divine timing, because I am very impulsive. When I want something, I want it now. I hate waiting. And then I start to wonder, like, why it's not happening in divine timing. Like, even conceiving a child, like, I'm like, dang, like, why is it taking so long for me to be able to conceive a child? And a lot of the times, you know, when things aren't happening in the way that we want them to, or in the timing that we want them to, it's usually because there's a bigger, better plan in the background. There's always a reason, is what I kind of try to tell myself. And I know that's a bit optimistic, but I truly believe that just trusting is so important. Just trusting in yourself, trusting in the universe, and just trusting in divine timing. And with good luck here in the cat, some of you might have cat, maybe even a black cat that protects you, that's your spirit guide that brings you good luck. But I do feel like there is good luck coming in this next chapter of our lives, of whatever is unfolding, especially for June. For a lot of us, there's gonna be a good luck energy to June, I feel like. So anything that you try to go after in June, I feel like you'll have good luck in. Release your emotional baggage. Yes, release your emotional baggage. Again, this goes along with healing and just letting go of the emotional baggage that we feel within, especially if you have recently been through something really hard in your life, a hard relationship, you know, childhood trauma, whatever it is. It's so easy to, you know, feel so upset and angered by every wrong thing that happens to us. But at the end of the day, it only hurts ourselves when we hold on to that burden and that resentment and that pain, and releasing it is just so freeing. I think about my relationship with my dad. I kind of talked about this on my podcast a lot if you listen to my Thoughts That Manifest podcast. But my own childhood, I really struggled with my relationship with my dad, and actually with my relationship with my parents in general. I went through a lot at a young age when it came to my emotions. I think I was connected to my emotions at a really young age. Like, I dealt with loss where, you know, one of my childhood best friends, she was my neighbor growing up, and she lived right down the street from me. We literally would walk to each other's houses all the time. We just had that really close, deep bond, and her family was like my second parents. And it was kind of where I would go to escape the intensity of my own house, because my dad did fall into a struggle where he got injured at work and he got onto painkillers and lost his job, went into depression and got addicted to these painkillers. His body was like addicted to it. They tried to cut him off cold turkey. They told him they weren't addictive when he originally took them, because he was a recovering drug addict at the time. So he wanted to make sure that, you know, the painkillers weren't addictive. But regardless, they ended up being really addictive, and he got addicted to them, and he fell into depression because he lost his job and he couldn't show up for the family financially anymore. And it caused this huge, it was just like intense energy at my house. He was always mad. He was always on edge, always yelling. I was always feeling like I was doing something wrong, and I was afraid of him. He changed before my eyes, and so that was really hard for me. And so my childhood friend at the time, and I was about like 11, I think, at this time, I would go over her house all the time to kind of escape that whenever my mom wasn't home, because my mom kind of brought a sense of like calmness to the house. Her energy was more calm than my dad. And so her family ended up becoming like a second family to me, and her parents were like second parents to me. And when I was 11, her mom ended up passing away unexpectedly on her 50th birthday. And I remember this just being like so devastating, because I felt awful for my friend, first off because that was her mom, and we were so young and still like learning about what loss really meant, what death was, and that was my first experience. And then my friend told me I'm venting to you guys, and I just realized, but maybe this message will help someone, I don't know. But then they ended up moving her to Florida, and I live in Massachusetts, so that was like a complete distance away, and she was my best friend at the time. So it was like I felt like I was losing everything that was like my safety, if that makes sense. Like, I found safety within her home, within her family, within her, in our friendship and our connection. And so when she had to move away after just losing her mom and all of that, it just threw my life and my emotions in a spiral. A couple months later, her dad ended up passing away as well. So she lost her parents within months of each other at a young age. We were like 11 and 12, and honestly, the hardest thing going through that, and I can't even imagine how she felt. And then I had a fear that I was going to lose my mom, and then my parents were divorcing all throughout this, and I watched my neighbor's house burn down. So all of these emotions and just everything really put us in a spiral, right? And then, or put me in a spiral for sure, emotionally. And then I ended up having tons of resentment with my dad because of the way that our relationship unfolded and how he handled his emotions towards me and everything else. And there's so much more to that story. But yeah, it took a really long time for me to forgive my dad and to find healing within myself when it came to that. And I heard a quote the other day that said something along the lines of, when you're on a healing journey, you tell your story differently. And that really resonated with me, because I think back before I started my healing journey and how I would talk about my relationship with my dad, and how I kind of talked about it in a resentful way. And I think back now on how I can talk about it, and it's not the way that I used to talk about it. In my childhood, I used to talk about it in such a more anger and resentment and pain and hurt. And as I continue to heal and heal my inner child, the way that I'm talking about it is different than how I used to. I used to just have so much anger and pain in my heart that I just wouldn't talk about it in a positive light. And I just found a lot of healing in that. And then we have get back into balance, which I think a lot of us could really, use, because I feel like too, even when I'm doing my pick a card readings, I notice that there's a lot of us who are struggling with balance, whether it's work and home life balance, whether it's finding balance in our routines, balance in our day-to-day lives, balance in our relationships. There's so much balance that we're needing to bring back into our lives, and so that's also really important. And start fresh and recall your dreams. Start fresh. Yes, I really like this too, because when you're releasing your emotional baggage, you're getting back to balance, you're starting fresh, and you're getting connected to your dreams again. And now you have a fresh perspective of how you want to move forward in your journey ahead, and how you want to move forward towards your dreams. Because when I didn't start my healing journey, I realized it was really hard for me to ground my energy, to get clear with my dreams, to get clear with my focus. And so really healing and releasing a lot of that stored energy, that stored pain, has helped me kind of align myself with my ideal goals, my ideal dreams, my ideal reality. And so I think that's really great. And I think a lot of us are about to come into alignment with what we truly want for ourselves, with creating a life that makes us feel good. So I think that's really positive, and I actually really loved this reading. Yeah, and just remember to be kind to yourself. I think that's really important, especially in this day and age. Like, I'm a huge believer in the foundation, our foundation that sets the tone for the rest of our relationships around us, really starts with the relationship that we have with ourselves. As soon as you show yourself self-love, and you kind of come back to that relationship to self, and you work on that inner healing, your external reality is going to reflect this back to you. And it's going to reflect that back to you in all of your relationships too, for sure. So keep that in mind, and just continue working on that connection that you have with self, and then also with the universe, or with God or source, or whatever it is you believe in. At the end of the day, there's just so much peace in that. There's so much peace in that, and you just start to attract healthier relationships, and you start to kind of move away from the relationships that never really made you feel good in the first place. And that's what I really think life is really all about. Creating a life that brings you joy. Creating a life that makes you feel good within, and not just like repeating your day-to-day life on this cycle that just feels so draining. I truly feel like we're not meant to live such a draining, unfulfilled life. We're supposed to live an abundant life, but really it's only our lack mindsets that hold us back, you know? So that was my little ramble of the day. I don't know, I talk a lot, but yeah. I guess I will see you guys when I see you next. Again, let me know in the comments below if you like this kind of style of reading, if you want me to show up more on camera, if you want to see my day-to-day life, if you want to see vlogs, if you want sit-down chats and rambles. I'm up to hear feedback and opinions. But until next time, I'm sending you all of my love.